Hello, everyone. My name is Zikomo Bullock, and I'm here to give a speech to you all about, well, the internet and what would happen, or if something were to go wrong with the internet, would we need, or do we need a plan B? And in my opinion, I think we do. Now, humanity has become extremely reliant on the internet for most of our day-to-day lives. In a sense, it's one of humanity's greatest feats, being a place with little to no conflict in relation to the real world. Now, the internet is one of the few prevailing things that brings people together. Should the internet crash or fail at any time, man needs a plan B. Otherwise, what little union existed or utilities existed will be gone and the world will be separated once again. Not to mention the loss of profit from many different businesses because money. In short, we need a plan B of some sort. Now, the internet is used for a variety of applications such as personal leisure, or a medium for businesses to use. At current, the number of businesses switching to the internet for storage and other information is increasing. According to Danny Hillis, the internet was not designed to grow as big as it has, and because of the role it now plays in modern living, a large cyber attack or glitch can potentially take the internet down and society with it. One reason as to why the internet could crash is that the internet itself is a network of many servers, and although they are generally well protected, they are still affected by elements such as human error or weather, or even, I guess, natural disaster. We need a solution to the possible failure. One example of why we need a plan B is a situation that happened during the summer of 2012. Pakistan made mistakes in how it was censoring YouTube in its internal network, says Hillis. As the error was capable of interfering with Asian internet. Now, should the internet go down, we would forcefully enter an age in which the world is no longer as close as it once was. As you may or may not know, or feel rather, the as time progresses, or in modern day times, I should say, you're never truly alone. As long as you have your phone or Wi-Fi or anything like that, how many times can you truly say you've actually been alone? You could be alone in person, but with your phone with you, you're not truly alone because you have access to social media sites. Now, and this is we have to keep in mind that we now currently live in a world in where keeping track of documents and information is much easier than it was in the past, and therefore, should we lose that ability to keep track of all this information, it would make documentation and keeping track of that same information much more difficult. And while humanity has already lived many eras without the internet, because has become so heavily integrated into modern living, coupled with an ever-growing population, the internet has become a symbol of mankind's growth, and to lose that could potentially mean it would be much harder to keep track of I don't know, geography or geographical information or populations or just things going on in other countries. It becomes substantially more difficult. Now, ways we could go about, I guess, having a plan B, in my honest opinion, is we could use older technology alongside the internet and its many other uses to not be entirely defenseless should something happen. We also need to learn to rely a little more on our older technologies for communication, especially in emergencies. Realize that the world in which we live is still very much a big place, despite the closeness the internet provides. Now, what can we as internet users do about this? We can try to keep as many written documents or files saved as possible. Abstain from overusing online storage, especially for important documents or data. We could resort to simply using television as a means to acquire information, or even newspapers. These are still viable options. Now, what can we as internet users do to prevent the internet from becoming one with mankind? Well, the internet is not invulnerable and is subject to human error and disaster. If we can cushion our own fall, should the internet fail, or we can continue life utilizing our older forms of technology. By doing this, we as internet users can prevent the internet from consuming every aspect of our lives and avoid an age in which we have become too reliant on the internet and the ease that it presents us with. While the internet is still up today, Tomorrow, that could very well not be the case, and this is why it's important for a plan B to be made, or some kind of fallback that we can rely on. Ensure that the memories and data stored on the internet are not lost with it itself. The internet, although fairly new in terms of relative to human history, is now such an integral part of living in modern society. Now, should the internet fall, because of how close we are to it now, we potentially could too. Concludes my speech.